Hey, it's Chris. Today's video is made possible by getonhalcyon.com. Halcyon Feel Good Audio. More on that coming up shortly. But the big news of the day is that there's a new Apple event looming on the horizon, which means new iPads are just around the corner. You can see Tim Cook posted pencil us in for May 7th, and you can see this animated Apple logo, which very clearly features a hand and an Apple Pencil, and all of these different animated Apple logos are very clearly artistic and created with an Apple Pencil or meant to convey something Apple Pencil related. So finally, we're gonna see new iPads. This is a big deal, and there's a lot of pent up demand because we didn't get a single new iPad announcement in all of 2013. There was no base level announcement, no iPad mini announcement, no iPad Air announcement, and certainly no iPad Pro announcement. So this is gonna be a big refresh, and I don't think that this is gonna be just a regular run-of-the-mill iPad unveiling. You might be like, well, Chris, this isn't like an in-person event, is it? Is it just gonna be another video? Yeah, it looks like you're just gonna watch this one online, but we're gonna talk about what is coming up for the iPads that we expect to see announced based on different rumors and whatnot that we've heard. We're also gonna talk about the future of iPad because it looks like iPad OS is gonna have some exciting news. There's been a leak about that, so we'll talk about that at the end of the video. But first, I wanna talk about this tweet from Mark Gurman. It says, both the iPad Air and iPad Pro are considered constrained at Apple retail, and Apple won't be replenishing stock of any current model, which he says is a good indicator that both the iPad Air and the iPad Pro are due to be refreshed. They're not getting any new stock, so this is it. When these models are gone, they're gone. Now, I want you to think back to October 2022 when Apple introduced the iPad Pro with the M2 chip. There wasn't exactly a giant hoopla made about this. It was kind of an online press release sort of a deal. And yeah, it brought a few things that were nice to see on the iPad Pro, but it wasn't a paradigm shifting sort of thing. And there was no online, event where everyone tuned in and streamed it and learned about it. It was just kind of like, here's the new features and here's some images. So that's why I think this is going to be something bigger than what a lot of people are probably expecting, not just a spec bump. The fact that this is an event, something that you can tune into and watch, that's the kind of thing that makes iPad Pro fans, iPad Air fans very, very excited. Speaking of the iPad Air, in March of 2022, that's when that got refreshed. Also, just a press release on Apple's website. So some good indicators that this is gonna be a good one this year. Now, something I want you to notice is that this is a weird starting time for this particular event. It's gonna happen early. What that means, I'm not 100% sure, but it's starting at 7 a.m. Pacific, so that's gonna be 10 o'clock if you're over on the East Coast. And I feel like that might be significant for some reason. Apple wants a whole day for people to be able to learn about this new device. It's not like just announce it before the weekend hits. Like, people are meant to know about this. So in Apple realm, this is the news I've been waiting for a long time personally. This makes me really happy. Almost as happy as when I'm listening to Halcyon. Halcyon is feel good audio, your audio oasis, kind of like a happy pill that you take with your ears. Halcyon features upbeat music, feel good fiction, practical tips on what you can do to live happier, and a wide variety of content to help you relax, including relaxing walks, which sound amazing. Personally, I've been loving the music and the stories, all of it actually. I'm gonna link it up down below so you can check it out. Speaking of checking things out, let's check out what we can expect from the new iPad Pros. If you go by the rumors, then 100% you're looking at an OLED screen. Probably on both, maybe just on the larger. We don't really know. But what we do know is that Apple wants their best, most expensive flagship iPad in the lineup to offer the best viewing experience that you can get on a tablet. And if you're doing anything professional like editing some video or some photos and you need colors that don't just pop and look good like when you're watching Netflix, but if you need them to be accurate for your job, then upgrading the screen makes all the sense in the world for Apple's Pro iPad. One thing you know for certain is that the chip's gonna be upgraded. We have the M2 in the Pro right now, so we're expecting the M3. Apple will continue to build on its chip enhancements, and of course, that's gonna make all the Pro level things just run that much better, that much smoother. Multitasking is gonna remain smooth for longer into the future. If you're gonna buy this and hang on to it for 5 years, then that chip is gonna be really important. If that gets upgraded to take things to the next level, then maybe not only are we gonna get some cool AI stuff and LLM stuff, but maybe we're gonna get more full-featured, better versions of apps that people have been begging for to come to the iPad Pro for a long time. You get a different version of Photoshop on your iPad, even your Pro, than you can run on your MacBook Pro, for instance. So this could be a watershed sort of event and year and product on top of whatever design adjustments we see, whether that's a shrinking bezel or just different actual industrial design language, whether they move the camera to be in a place where people would rather have it. We can be sure that the new iPad Pro is going to be a productivity machine, an absolute beast. Speaking of productivity, let me briefly mention Learning to Be Productive. That's my productivity course designed for Apple users. It will help you get more done in less time in the Apple ecosystem with less burnout. That's available right now, linked up down below. But you can also pre-order my new course, Freeform Unleashed, which goes into all sorts of advanced and creative uses for Freeform, stuff you're not going to find anywhere else, lots of exclusives. If you're wondering what you can do with Freeform, how you can push it to the max, then check that out. It's 50% off until it releases, and it's coming out soon. Let's talk about the iPad Air just a little bit. One thing that rumors are pointing to with the Air is the addition of potentially getting a larger display, a larger screen option. Right now, it's the iPad Pro that offers a couple different display sizes, an 11-inch and a 12.9-inch. Wouldn't it be interesting if Apple brought a 12.9-inch, like some of the rumors are saying, to the Air lineup? What that says to me is that Apple has something else really special planned for the iPad Pro lineup to differentiate it other than just the size. If they're gonna give you size options like this for the iPad Air, that means something else big is coming to the iPad Pro. So this is one of the things that I picked out that leads me to believe this isn't just another mundane iPad Pro update. So of course I'm expecting to see the processor get upgraded here as well, whether that means just getting bumped up to the M2 like the iPad Pro has now and will have had shortly, or maybe they're going to split the new chips and we're gonna see something like a Pro Max or something actually make it to an iPad and just the regular M3 live in the Air. I'm not sure. I'm almost positive that we're going to see Apple keep the pricing basically the same for the Air lineup as what it's been. Apple's actually pretty good about that, saying, hey, we haven't changed the price even though we've upgraded some things. Yes, Apple stuff is expensive to begin with, but that's a whole different conversation. You're not buying a piece of junk when you buy Apple products. This is an affordable luxury for most people. And though the storage inside will cost you an arm and a leg to upgrade, for the most part, I'm pretty happy with where Apple keeps the pricing on these. But then we come to the discussion of accessories. If you look at what Tim Cook posted for Pencilless In from May 7th on his X account, then you saw that one of the animations, like we already discussed, had something to do with the Apple Pencil. Now, as a teaser, Apple could have put anything in that particular animation and in this invitation, but they chose the Apple Pencil. So that seems to point to the fact that we're getting a new Apple Pencil, number one, probably fairly obviously. That's what the rumors have been saying for a long time. What that means, I don't know, because I'm racking my brain a little bit to think of what could be added to the Apple Pencil that would make it so much better than it already is. It's already very good in my opinion. That said, it has been a while since the second gen Apple Pencil debuted. If you thought the iPad Pro was looking a little long in the tooth, well, that counts for the Apple Pencil as well. I mean, we did have a new Apple Pencil release a while back, but that just added USB-C and subtracted a few features so that users of more budget-friendly iPads, not the Pro, had another option. Maybe we're gonna get some interchangeable magnetic tips like some of the rumors have been talking about. A lot of rumors have also been pointing to a new Magic Keyboard coming, maybe one that has an aluminum material for the top case, which would be interesting. Of course, we've seen the accessory maker Bridge make some aluminum accessories that kind of blurred the lines between what an iPad and Mac looked like, even though the functionality was very iPad-like. And so that could look good. It could be something that people like or dislike. I think that depends on your taste. I really like the way that the iPad Magic Keyboard looks and works right now. There's a few things I would tweak and add, like those function keys across the top, which Apple did bring to the Magic Keyboard Folio. I made lots of videos comparing and contrasting the different Magic Keyboards that you can check out. Another thing that the Magic Keyboard is rumored to bring is a larger trackpad, which I think is a good thing. It's pretty small right now on the Magic Keyboard for the iPad Pro. It's not so small that it's unusable. In fact, when it debuted, it felt like luxurious and amazing, and all the other trackpads from third-party companies were really crappy by comparison, and they slowly got better. You know, I'm thinking of like Logitech with the Combo Touch. When that debuted, it was a terrible trackpad. You couldn't even click in the corners, and then they went on to fix that later, but it was never as good as the Magic Keyboard experience. So it's one of the things that Apple can do that's left to do is to just make it physically bigger. And as mundane as this might sound to a lot of people, I'm actually looking forward to the accessories as much or almost more than the iPad itself, because the iPad is great on its own. Of course, the iPad Pro is great on its own, but the whole thing about an iPad is that it's modular, and adding in a new stylus experience and adding in a new keyboard experience and whatever else Apple has planned, That's where the sweet spot really is for me. I just have a feeling though that this is gonna be a year to remember for the iPad announcement, especially for iPad fans like me. Now, even if this isn't a foldable iPad, which the rumors say, hey, maybe we'll see that in like a year or 2 years or sometime down the road, I don't need it to be a foldable iPad. I don't even necessarily want it to be a foldable iPad. There's nothing about folding my iPad that is going to change how I probably am ever going to use it. Now, if that ever happens, then I'm happy to keep an open mind and change my mind about that. Now, here's the thing that I said I was going to mention at the end of the video that has to do with iPad OS getting updated. Of course, WWDC is where all that news is going to come out. But somehow, some rumors are suggesting that the iPad is finally going to get an actual calculator. This is something that Apple has not brought to the iPad for over a decade. People have been clamoring for it. It's a calculator. I don't know like what the big deal is personally. I used a widget forever. There was a non-Apple calculator widget on my home screen, and it was always available to me. I was like, I don't really mind that there's not an official calculator app, but whatever. Apparently that is potentially coming to iPadOS in the next version. So in conclusion, I'm really excited about this. I'm probably more excited about this particular event than I even was for the iPhone announcement last September, or for really any recent Apple event. I mean, I've been waiting for this for the longest time because I use the iPad. I rely on it all the time. You know, I love Freeform, and the place that I love to use Freeform above all others is on this device, the iPad Pro. I'm pointing to it, you can't see it, but it's right here, right? This is my Freeform device, especially with the Apple Pencil. So I do everything in Freeform, and I do a lot on the iPad Pro itself. I do use the Mac. I'm using them both. They're part of a healthy Apple ecosystem for me. I'm not the kind of person who's sitting there saying, I wish that they would put Mac OS over on the iPad Pro and then call it a day. I like the iPad Pro as the iPad Pro, as it is right now. And I like all the iPads that way. I like the Air that way too. So I'm super excited. You already know that. I wanna know what you're excited about. Leave me those comments down below. Again, this video is made possible by Halcyon, so please go check them out. 2-week free trial. It's audio that's designed to make you feel better, science-based. I love it. I got to be in on the beta test. So I've been listening to the music while I work. I've been listening to the stories. I've been checking out the tips. It's all really good. Also, don't forget to check out the courses. Get in on that pre-sale price for Freeform Unleashed before it's too late, because it's coming out soon, and then it's going to be full price, of course. So thanks for hanging out today. I'll catch you in the next video.